Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to Lohen, the mini specialist that is going to be tuning Ruby Roadster. This is the first of a series of videos around the work I'm going to get done on my car, and today is going to be a very, very special day. I arrived some time ago. I've had the car checked in, I've checked the job sheet. It's now currently in the workshop. I'm going to try and catalogue the whole process of today. What we're doing to Ruby today is very, very cool and very special. So it's going to be a good day. Roll the titles. Well, welcome to the Lohen workshop. I will show you around all the facilities here, but first order of the day is Ruby's going onto the rolling road. She's had her test drive, all is good. First thing they're going to do is put her on the rolling road and see what figures she's putting out now, and then we can compare that at the end of the day with what she's going to get at the end of the day, because I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more. So she's all ready. I've always wanted to get Ruby onto a rolling road. Always been intrigued to see what's actually being produced by the engine. Completely stock at the moment from Mini. Should be in the region of 211 horsepower, but we will find out very shortly to see if any of those ponies have escaped. Well, that was very loud, but get this. So before we do any work, Ruby's running 238 horsepower and 300 Newton meters. These are kind of like, what? This is like a strong car. So we haven't done anything yet. So the guys are going to start work. I think we go into the nice little lounge area and talk a little bit about what we're doing today and the ins and outs of modifying the car. But that is a very strong start point. I'm so chuffed. 238 horsepower. Oh. Well, there you go. So there's my dyno sheet. So let's have a bit of a chat about the whole process we're going through. I've owned my Mini now for 4 years, and I've always wanted to kind of do some work to it and always been interested to go down the modification route. My worry's always been primarily warranty, and I guess that's one of the first questions lots of people will want to know is very often, and you know, it depends on who does the modifications and what modifications, but very often you will invalidate your warranty. So I don't have that worry with my Mini now because it's out of warranty, so that's all good. And then the second thing is also, what about insurance? And it's really important to say, look, if you're going to modify your car in any way, you need to be open and frank with your insurance company and make sure that they know what you've done. Now, interestingly, I spoke to my insurance company yesterday and explained the work I was getting done today, and it's increased my insurance by about £40 a year. Now that's, you know, not going to be the same for everybody. I'm an older driver, I've got a huge amount of no claims, so you need to make sure you declare everything to your insurance company, because if you don't, then effectively your insurance is invalid and your insurance company would be within their rights to not pay out if you had some kind of claim. So those two things out the way, no warranty issues, no insurance issues. So the next thing is what kind of tune, and I really wanted to come to someone really reputable, and that's why I've come to Lohen. And the guys here are hugely, hugely thorough. We've talked at length about what I'm going to do with the car, and we've decided to do the Lohen Performance Pack 2. And that includes a stage 2 remap, which we'll talk about more a bit later on. It's also going to have a new intercooler, new spark plugs, and an Akrapovic downpipe, so a sports cat. So that should open up the breathing of the car and also give me a slightly more fruity exhaust note. Now, the interesting thing, the JCW back box on my car is actually known to be a pretty well sorted one in terms of noise. So I'm not changing the back box, literally just the front part of the exhaust. So those are the modifications I'm going to be doing. The base point to start from, as I said, so I'm still getting over the fact I've got 238.9 horsepower and 300 Newton meters. But this remap is all going to be about the torque as well as the headline BHP figure. So the car is in the workshop. It's been test driven up the road. It's currently having a pre engine inspection to make sure that the engine's absolutely spot on. We're going to go into the workshop and have a look at that in a moment. They're going to check things like compression pressures and all those types of important things. It's not just a case of sticking in more horsepower. They need to make sure that the engine is going to be able to deal with that. And then we'll go through the other bits of work. So it's all looking very good so far. So I want to kind of follow the process through, but so far very, very exciting. So I think the next thing we're going to do is go into the workshop and have a look at the work that's being done before the actual modifications take place. Right, enter into the Lohen workshop and Ruby is on a pillar lift. So if we can actually wander underneath, we can have a little bit of a check. The guys have checked underneath the car. She's looking all nice and sorted. Now I'm going to try and point out what we're going to be doing today. We're going to have a replacement to this downpipe. So this is going to be replaced by an Akrapovic downpipe to there. The rest of the exhaust all the way that way is good enough to stay. And then we're getting a new intercooler, and again you probably won't see this, but the current intercooler is just here and is tiny, and the new one is well, I've seen one in the showroom. It's about 4 times the size. So that's the main bits of hardware. So this is Jack, who's doing all the work on the car. So we've started our first test. What are you doing here, Jack?
Basically we're doing a combustion gas test.
Yep.
So we'll check for exhaust gas inside the coolant system.
Yep.
So the fluid starts blue, as you can see. So as long as there's no combustion gases in the coolant system, it'll stay blue. If there is some present, it'll go like a yellowy limey colour.
Yep.
But providing it stays blue, you'll be absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with the car.
That knocking noise is alright, right?
Yeah, it's just standard N18. Yeah.
It sounds like a bag of bolts.
Normal Mini.
But a strong engine, we think.
Strong.
Okay, next up we've got a compression test. Is that good?
Yeah, 190 psi.
Good, excellent. Compression test. Do you do that on every cylinder or just?
Every cylinder.
Yeah, so compression test on each cylinder just to make sure that the pistons and the rings and everything is perfect. See, for me, doing these tests before we do any of the actual modification work is really, really important. You want to make sure you've got a solid engine and a solid platform to work from. Otherwise, you're just going to end up having problems down the line. And that's what I love about the guys here at Lohen. They're not just going to turn up and literally stick a modification on the car. They want to make sure you've got a really good sound platform. And so far, Ruby is performing very, very well. Really good rolling road tests. And she's passing with flying colours so far. So excited. So this is a leak test. So basically put compressed air 100 psi into the cylinder, and then you're basically seeing how much air is leaking past the valves just to check the valve seals. And so far, again, Ruby is performing pretty well.
6% leakage.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely fine.
So what we've got here, guys, basically these are your kind of warning lights. Anything less than 40% is okay, but we're currently running it between 6 and 9%, which is pretty much what comes out of factory. And then you've got you start getting worried over 40%, and then in the red bar you're in big trouble basically. So we are looking good. Good news, Ruby has passed all of her tests with flying colours, which is no surprise really considering the dyno results we got. But at this point the guys have said we are happy to proceed. It's really important to say that if your car doesn't pass any of those tests with the right kind of numbers, the guys basically will just not do the modification. They won't put an engine that's not in really good condition under that kind of extra stress and extra load, because it is worth thinking about. If you're modifying your car, you are putting more horsepower and more torque through the engine internals, the clutch, the drivetrain, the gearbox, all those types of things. So you do need to kind of consider that when you are modifying a car. So that's why these checks are so important. But we are good to go. That's the next stop, the Performance Pack 2 and a Stage 2 remap. Now, I'm not quite sure what the BHP and torque figures that we're going to get at the end of the day, but what we are hoping for is somewhere in the region of 265 BHP and somewhere in the region of about 400 Newton meters of torque. So let's see what kind of magic we can do, shall we? Now this is the exciting bit. Look at that baby in there. Stop cat. Akrapovic cat. Wicked. Out comes the ECU, and that's going off for a reprogram. Mark's going to go and work his magic on that one. Make it fast.
Will do.
So basically remapping the ECU isn't the kind of most interesting looking process, but you basically plug it into this box and update the software with basically new instructions on how things like timing and boost pressure, fuel flow go in the car to give it the extra oomph. So we're going for stage 2 remap. Now, one of the things while you're having your car done is it takes quite a bit of time, so you'll need somewhere nice to chill out. Now, no worries, there is a lovely customer lounge in there with kind of free tea and coffee and soft drinks. But then there's the shop. Now, all I need to say is a few people said before I went down this modification route, be careful, because once you start, it's a dangerous slippy slope to spending lots and lots of money, and you always want to do more and more. And I went, no, that will never be me. It's me already. So if you have a look in there, there's some mega stuff in there to spend your pennies on. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Now, what I really love about this is you can kind of see they've got the whole suspension geometry set out here. So if you're having coilovers and bush ears and anti-roll bars and so on, you can really kind of have a look and see what it all looks like in here, and they can talk you through the whole process. Over here you've got all the various sports exhaust options. I have a huge amount of love for these Akrapovic carbon fibre tips. Sadly, you need to buy the whole Akrapovic exhaust to get these, and that's slightly out of my budget today, but very cool nonetheless. And then you come down here and you've basically got all the bits for the different performance packs. So they actually do 3 performance packs for a Gen 2 Mini. Performance Pack 1, 2 and 3 from just over £1,000, £1,600 for what I'm having done, or the full Performance Pack 3 is £3,500, but you end up with an absolute monster for that. And then if you wander around here, there's some really nice wheels. Don't know about you guys, but I've always had a major thing for a pair of white OZ Racing wheels. I just think they look absolutely mega. What we do have around here is some Team Dynamics wheels. So I've got a pair of these being prepared to go onto Ruby as we speak. Right then, we have finished lunch and the front of the car is off. I do need to clean my brake calipers, but the downpipe's very nearly done. There was a slight hiccup with one of the studs, but that's all been done now. But what I wanted to show you is this. So that is the existing intercooler, and that's the one that's replacing it. So the difference, clearly it's going to sit behind it, but absolutely massive difference. And here they are together, little and large. Amazing the difference between those two.
Exhaust gas is coming through, spinning your turbine.
Yeah.
Obviously blowing air through. I don't know if you want to shine it up here a little bit. Through this, through here, down through this intercooler pipe, down, just goes down the back of the radiator. Yeah. Comes down to the bottom of this intercooler, across, air comes in, cools your air through here, comes back up through this hard pipe here.
Yeah.
Into your inlet manifold, and obviously into the chambers.
The difference in size is just remarkable.
Yeah. You keep your intake temps a lot cooler.
It's all about intake temperature.
Yeah. Better intake temperatures, better power, and a lot healthier for your engine.
Wicked. Well, the intercooler is all fitted. Check it out. Looks absolutely brilliant. It's a shame it hides behind my front bumper, but that is going to make sure that everything runs all super duper. So that is downpipe fitted, intercooler fitted. I think the next thing on the list is probably going to be either spark plugs or air filter. So air filter time. This is the old one, and there's the new one. So that's going to help the breathing.
Massively.
And the front end's back on, which is most excellent. What's really annoying though is I've bought some red Mini GP2 scoops, these bits here, and they didn't get delivered on time. Otherwise we could have just clipped them on today because we've had the front bumper off, but never mind. Front bumper's going to have to come off again. Okay, new air filter on, spark plugs in, and nice engine cover back on, and now the heart of the Mini That's where all the magic happens, right? So that just slots in there.
Put it back in. And plug it back
plugs in. So that's now got the stage 2 remap, and that we're getting towards fire up time. Oh, look at that. Very cool. She's ready for the road test. Here we go. Still cold. I'm so excited. Let's get it. Oh. So Jack's going to take it out on a road test, bed it all in, and then we're getting on the dyno. Now we're having a little book running to see what we're going to get out of it on the dyno. So excited. Unfortunately, it's decided to absolutely chuck it down with rain outside, so I'm going to have a rather good fun drive home. Sounds wicked. Alright, so as soon as he comes back, straight in on the dyno, and we'll see what we're going to get. So she's packed from test drive and she has a new party piece. Oh wow, excellent. Well, test is over and the results are in. What do you think, people? This man was almost spot on with his guesstimation. So we've got actually 3 different modes you can run the car in, but in the top mode, in mode C, we're running 270 bhp and 395 newton meters of torque. Wow, that is, and the noise this thing makes, the pops and bangs. Absolutely cracking. What can I say? You have transformed my car, gentlemen. No problem. I have to say a massive thank you to both of these gents. Mark from Lohen, absolutely, mate. He's been awesome all day. I'm over the moon. What I now need to do is drive it home in the wet, which is going to be interesting. But I'm going to sign off there. I need to say a massive thanks to Mark and all the guys at Lohen. Have been brilliant today. Seriously, I'll put all the details in the description below. They've got a range of different options for modification and tuning. You don't have to go as full on as this, but honestly, if you want your car to sound brilliant and have 270 horsepower, then it's a good way to go. But I will sign off there and say if you enjoyed this one, if you didn't enjoy this one, come on people, really, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol for plenty more content to come. I'm from the rolling road here at Lohen, and with Ruby Roadster, fully modified, 270 horsepower, 395 newton meters of torque. I will see you on the next film, guys, which actually tomorrow's going to be a very special day because I get to play with all of the toys that are parked in the car park outside. So those videos will be coming to you soon, and I'll do a first drive video of that as well. But I'll see you on that one, guys. You take care. Drive safe.